Rhea Silvia was a central figure in the legendary traditions surrounding the foundation of Rome, remembered as a Vestal Virgin of Alba Longa and the mother of Romulus and Remus, the twin founders of Rome. Her story forms one of the most important links in the traditional genealogy that connected Rome to the Trojan hero Aeneas. And through this lineage, the Romans believed their city possessed an ancient and noble origin, reaching back to the fall of Troy. Rhea Silvia was usually described as the daughter of Numitor, the rightful king of Alba Longa, who himself was a descendant of Proter and belonged to the royal line that traced its ancestry to Ascanius, the son of Aeneas. Numitor was overthrown by his younger brother, Amulius, who seized the throne and attempted to destroy the rival royal line in order to secure his power. Amulius had Numitor's male heirs killed and forced Numitor's daughter, Rhea Silvia, to become a Vestal Virgin, so that she would never marry or bear children. A calculated political decision intended to prevent any future claimant to the throne from being born. The Vestal Virgins were priestesses devoted to the goddess Vesta, whose sacred fire symbolized the eternal life of the community, and their service required a strict vow of chastity lasting at least 30 years. By placing Rhea Silvia among the Vestals, Amulius believed he had permanently ended the possibility that Numitor's line might continue. Vestals were usually chosen from noble families and enjoyed unusual privileges within Roman society, including legal independence and public honor. But any Vestal who violated her vow of virginity faced a terrible punishment, usually burial alive. When Rhea Silvia became pregnant, therefore, the event represented both a religious scandal and a political crisis. According to Roman tradition, the father of her children was the war god Mars, who either visited her in a divine encounter or appeared to her in a vision. Some ancient writers described the meeting as a literal union between god and mortal, while others hinted that the story might conceal a more ordinary explanation. Yet the divine paternity of Mars became an essential part of Roman identity, since it allowed the Romans to claim descent from the god of war and to view their military success as part of a sacred destiny. After Rhea Silvia gave birth to the twin boys, Amulius reacted with fear and ordered that the infants be killed. Servants were instructed to throw the children into the Tiber River, but the river was swollen with floodwaters, and the basket carrying the twins drifted safely downstream until it came to rest near the slopes of the Palatine Hill. There, the children would eventually be discovered and nursed by the famous she-wolf before being raised by the shepherd Faustulus and his wife, Acca Laurentia. The fate of Rhea Silvia herself was told in several different ways by ancient authors. In some traditions, she was imprisoned by Amulius and kept in confinement for the rest of her life, while in others, she was executed for breaking her sacred vow. Another version claimed that she was rescued by the river god Tiberinus, who took her as his wife and granted her a divine existence connected with the river that had carried her children to safety. This story created a symbolic link between mother and sons, since the same river that preserved the twins also became the realm of their transformed mother. When Romulus and Remus grew to adulthood and learned their true origin, they helped their grandfather Numitor reclaim the throne of Alba Longa by overthrowing and killing Amulius. The restoration of Numitor's rule represented the triumph of the rightful royal line and fulfilled the destiny that Amulius had tried to prevent when he forced Rhea Silvia into the Vestal Order. The twins later decided to establish a new city on the banks of the Tiber, and this settlement became Rome after Romulus emerged as its sole ruler. Through her sons, Rhea Silvia came to be regarded as the first mother of the Roman people, the woman whose children founded the city that would eventually dominate the Mediterranean world. Her position in Roman tradition, therefore, extended far beyond the story of a single family and became part of the larger narrative of Rome's divine origin and historical mission. Ancient writers preserved the story of Rhea Silvia with many variations and interpretations. Livy described her as the daughter of Numitor and treated the intervention of Mars as a divine event consistent with Rome's sacred history, while Plutarch suggested that the encounter with Mars might have been violent or forced, and emphasized the political motives behind Amulius's actions. In some traditions, Rhea Silvia was also known by the name Ilia, a name that emphasized her Trojan ancestry and her connection to the descendants of Aeneas. The name Silvia itself was associated with the royal Silvian dynasty of Alba Longa, whose rulers traditionally bore the title Silvius, a name derived from the Latin word silva, meaning forest or woodland, reflecting the wooded hills of the Latin region where Alba Longa once stood. Roman artists often depicted Rhea Silvia in scenes showing her reclining or sleeping, while Mars approached her, emphasizing the divine origin of the twins and the mysterious character of their conception. In other works, she appeared beside the she-wolf nursing Romulus and Remus, or in the presence of Tiberinus, illustrating the sacred protection that surrounded the birth of Rome's founders. During the period of the Roman Empire, the story of Rhea Silvia gained additional importance as part of imperial ideology, since emperors traced their authority back to Romulus, and thus indirectly to the divine union that produced the founders of Rome. The story of Rhea Silvia also reflects deeper themes within Roman culture, concerning the role of noble women in the preservation of lineage and legitimacy. She was at once a consecrated virgin, a royal princess, and the mother of a new people, combining religious purity with dynastic continuity. As a Vestal, she represented sacred order and tradition. As the daughter of Numitor, she embodied legitimate kingship, and as the mother of Romulus and Remus, she became the human origin of Rome itself. Because these roles were united in a single figure, Rhea Silvia came to symbolize the moment when divine will, royal ancestry, and historical destiny converged to produce the Roman state.